We started in Dublin with Mike. We went from musicians to commissioners for older people. We're going to move on to Corrina Grimes, and Corrina Grimes is also based in Northern Ireland, is many things, one of which is the founder of MemoryTel. She's going to be joined online by Adolfo Garcia, who is joining us from Argentina. Corrina Grimes, would you like to come up here?
Thank you very much for the invitation. So I think my colleague Adolfo should be joining us, and Adolfo's going to start a presentation. Just like magic, there you are, Adolfo.
Hello everyone. So good to be back at Creative Brain Week, especially on this occasion. So thanks to Dominic, Bea, Kim, and the whole organizing team. It's fantastic to be here. I wonder if our slides are already visible for everyone, Corrina?
Not just yet, we see you, but I think that'll happen. There we go. And over to you, Adolfo.
Fantastic. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to share with you a little story. If we can move on to the next slide. It's a story that starts Click in 1977 in Click, Dublin, Ireland, more particularly in a farm in rural Tyrone on the northern part of Ireland. And a little girl here, she was the eldest of 6 children. She was a very curious person, always seeing patterns and trying to prompt connections that were perhaps not evident to the rest of the people. For instance, at a very early age, between her dance teacher and her maths teacher. This is a person that was always trying to spot ways to improve systems and processes. Should this be the queue at a fast food restaurant or with the health and social care system? And this little girl was diagnosed with dyslexia a little bit later on, which perhaps explained some of her interest and particular relation with language. But now, please click. The story will take us many, many, many kilometers away from Tyrone, click, to a little rural town now in the southeast of Buenos Aires, Argentina, a small place called Balcarce, who, click, by 1982, had a population of roughly 36,000 people. And there was a little boy here who always had a fascination for language. He was always interested in the sound of words, in the way in which sounds could be combined, distorted, played with, puns, rhymes, metaphors, and all these things. And these two characters would have never come together if it were not because of another event which happened several years later. So please click again, more precisely in 2016, which was the creation of the Global Brain Health Institute. Massive spoiler here, the girl is Corrina Grimes, and the little boy is me. You didn't see that one coming now, did you? And GBHI was a catalyst for the divergent trajectories, backgrounds, and interests that Corrina and I had to come together. And I think that the fact that we are now working together attests to this expansive boundary effacing ethos that GBHI promotes, whereby people interested in brain health can contribute regardless of training and expertise. And I think that one of the main things that we've learned from GBHI is this: everything is better through teamwork, and there is no such a thing as a bad combination of trajectories, provided that the north is shared. Back to you, Corrina.
Thank you, Adolfo. So, as you know, Adolfo's mentioned my curiosity. So, GBHI gave me the opportunity to understand more about the work of Adolfo. So, Adolfo, as you know, is a neuroscientist. He spent his life researching how our speech can be a biomarker for neurodegeneration. His work has spread across the globe. And through the connection in GBHI, I reached out, willing and wanting to understand more around how our speech and biomarkers work and how that would link with my own work. My background is in health and social care. I started as a clinician, I moved into public health and commissioning and into policy making. And so I was interested, how could this new technology and this new research be translated into policy and practice? And so through our conversations, I initially thought, well, is this new ways to train our speech and language therapists? And then I realised, no, it wasn't that. And my own lived experience at the time was journeying with a family member through a diagnosis of dementia. So it became of particular interest in how your speech can be used as a biomarker to support the diagnosis of dementia. And as I began to learn more, and we had further conversations, Adolfo and myself, we began to think about how we could take this world-class research that Adolfo was leading, the technology that he developed, and bring that into frontline clinical services, so that each and every one of our families then could avail of such technology. And hence MemoryTel is formed, so taking this research and putting it into frontline services. So in terms of next steps, MemoryTel was formed. We're currently looking at our validation trials. We're delighted to have the support of a GBHI of Professor Sean Kennelly in Tala, where we'll be carrying out our pivotal study later this year. We also have approval in principle from all of our memory clinics in Northern Ireland, and again support from our commissioners in Northern Ireland and our permanent secretary for health. I'm just going to move on to Adolfo to help conclude our session, but before I do, I think for us this is a good example of the legacy of Chuck Feeney, and I suppose from my own perspective, the privilege of being an Atlantic Fellow comes with a responsibility, and we take that very seriously. And we hope to move towards this technology into global expansion. So back to you, Adolfo.
Well said, Corrina. Absolutely, that is part of our next steps here. We want to spread this globally, especially making sure that these technologies live up to the equitable potential that they have. With things like this, where you can leverage digital technologies and hopefully implement them in clinical care. The problem that we face is that most of these developments, although they are low cost, they're highly scalable. They can partly mitigate the disbalance that there exists between the number of patients and the much lower number of professionals capable of screening for the diseases that we are interested in, diagnosing them and monitoring them. The problem is that all of this research is mainly concentrated in high-income countries. So the global expansion that we are looking into is not just adding to the country count in our figures, but making sure that the countries that we add really represent the diversity of socioeconomic and cultural realities out there. So we want to expand into lower and middle income countries, making sure that we can promote equity in this sense, living up to the overall mission of GBHI, Chuck Feeney's vision, and contributing to this celebration of heterogeneity and eclecticism that Creative Brain Week so clearly put forward. So thanks for your attention. Thanks everyone for making this event happen yet again and expanding globally, and looking forward to more next time around.
Thank you.